said she's feeling why she won't push her social info until the zero is up.
I'm messaging her at the moment.
Okay.
Because I did let her know what zero we were having before we left.
Hi. Oh, okay, never mind, I was getting a streaming failure, but now it just connected, so we're good. Oh, thank you so much, I appreciate it. Okay, bye. Yeah, once you call, it'll fix it. Like, I swear, like once you like call,
I know,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, it did it twice, and then, as soon as I call. Hello, this is Sophie. I'm just wondering if you can see and hear me. I can go do a mic check for you. Okay, wait, hang on. Let me do like a little mic check so you can hear me. Blah, blah, blah. My name is Sophie. Can you hear me okay? Great. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.
Morning.
Are we ready? Are we?
Okay, I didn't know I saw. I wasn't sure. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for being here. I'm here to provide an update on the 2024 revaluation and current updates about that. So first, giving an update about the community events that just kicked off this week. We had the opportunity to visit Monclova and Springfield, where we met with over 200 citizens that had questions and concerns about property values. We are also going to be meeting next Wednesday in Sylvania Township from 12 to 7 p.m., again to answer questions, address concerns about property revaluation, and to help citizens file a complaint with the Board of Revision if they have and want to challenge their property value. We've also added another location and date to the community events. We will be going to Waterville on March 26th, again from 12 to 7. This was at the request of Mayor Tim Pedro, so I'm glad he reached out to us, and we're happy to accommodate having another community event to help citizens address their concerns about property values. Again, the purpose of these meetings is, of course, to help people file with the Board of Revision, but no values can be changed on the spot at those events. But we're happy to answer questions and happy to guide citizens through the Board of Revision process. The other update I want to provide is that we do have a draft of the contract with our independent third-party vendor. Everyone had the opportunity to meet John Clemenshaw last week. We're just finishing up final details, but I will give you a draft of the contract as it is today, and we hope to finalize that in the coming days. We're just working out some of the legal, technical aspects of it. And I also want to make clear in the scope of that performance audit, it is to look at the overall quality, processes, procedures of the 2024 revaluation. This is not the scope does not include providing new property values or reviewing individual properties, or reviewing or assigning new values to individual properties. So the main scope of this audit, of course, is to look at the overall quality of the 2024 revaluation, examine any programming error that occurred, and then what are the best practices moving forward for the next revaluation. That's the scope as it is right now. As I've said from the beginning, we'll follow us where the facts lead us, and so if anything comes from this, we will continue to pursue that. I want to give an update on the Board of Revision. We've already had over 3,300 complaints filed to date. Board of Revision hearings have started. They started on Tuesday. We've had about 50 so far. We have another 15 scheduled today, and they will continue starting next Tuesday, again, Tuesday through Friday. And so we'll continue to provide updates on that. Just a small observation, again, if someone wants to file with the Board of Revision, they can of course come to our community events, they can file online, or they can call our office. There is going to be an upgrade to our smart file this evening, so if you were planning to file this Valentine's Day evening, it might be unavailable for a couple hours, just so you're aware. But we want to make sure we have those upgrades, so we're giving the best options to people. And finally, we will be closed on Monday due to President's Day. So those are my updates for now. I'm happy to take any questions.
So for, sorry, my mind is completely blank. You've talked about 200 people through these community meetings. What have you mainly been hearing from them? What are the most common concerns that have come up?
Sure. I mean, the concern is, the increased property value and what options do people have. And I think being able to go through the option that people do have the right to file with the Board of Revision, and just understanding the process of how we evaluate property, how we get to the values that we did get to this cycle. And so I think addressing those concerns head on individually has been really beneficial. It seems that people, will arrive concerned, but they leave more or less reassured that they have options, and that we're doing everything by law and to the best of our ability to help Lucas County taxpayers.
Can you also talk about, when I was at the community meeting and spoke to some residents, they were saying that they were some of the first people to file for that formal review, and they were concerned that their hearing hadn't been scheduled. But they said that there's kind of a method into how these hearings are scheduled. Can you kind of talk about that?
Great question. I am glad you brought that up. So when we get a complaint with the Board of Revision, to file at the Board of Revision, it does take 30 days for us to schedule, and that's due to the legal requirement that the school board of that district is also notified and has the chance to be part of that that hearing. So when you file, it will at least take 30 days to be scheduled, but you will get scheduled by 90 days. So again, there's a little bit of a lag there. I understand that can be frustrating, but with 3,300 cases, we are processing them as quickly as we can, but there is that window of 30 days to be able to schedule. And then once we do, we send that notification letter, and then there's the communication loop where our office will call, or you can call us, and just to make sure that you have evidence and you have everything ready for your hearing.
They had mentioned something about that what they were asking for was a change more than $50,000, and that this week there was only people who were less than $50,000. Was that also part of how these are being scheduled?
The initial tranche of people that were scheduled were the under 50,000 because of that school board requirement. Yes.
You said these started very recently. Have any of them resolved yet? And if they have, are you able to tell us kind of how those are shaping out? Sure.
So we have had some decisions made. However, we do have to send official notice on those, and so it does vary. I mean, if we've had cases where people haven't shown up or submitted evidence, and that makes it challenging. So I'd hate to give a percentage of approved and denied, especially with such a small sample of the population. But we will have, as we continue, we'll have more information on that. Thank you.
So as they've met with the Board of Revisions, has there been some that have been erroneously valued or might have been part of that glitch that weren't previously identified?
No, everyone that was part of the glitch has been made whole. They've been corrected. They've already gone. They have the right to file with the Board of Revision. However, anyone that was part of that glitch has already been taken care of.
I know that when you had to submit the abstract in November, you said that you had to meet that 29.5%. That was what was given to you by the state. And now when you're doing these revisions, is there another percent that you have to meet, or How does that kind of factor into this?
Great question. It's very different when you're submitting the abstract in a non-sexennial or triennial year. So we're not beholden to that same strict, average increase as mandated by the state, because we're going through the Board of Revision, as the state allows us to with our local control of, me, the treasurer, and the commissioner. It doesn't have that same strict percentage.
So there's nothing that will dictate how certain revisions are going. It's just based off of then what evidence they bring. It's not any percents that you have to meet.
Correct. That's a good question. It is different. We do look at the individual cases. The Board of Revision is looking at individual properties and evaluating, what the complaint and then what the true value should be.
Yes, how confident are you that the people who have been identified as part of the glitch are the only people who were affected by that glitch?
I am confident that, I've been addressing that for the last couple of weeks, and everyone's been made whole. They've gotten their refund, or they've indicated they want it on their second half tax bill. But again, this is why I did find it important to go through an independent third-party review of the entire 2024 revaluation. So again, I'm confident that that has been identified, but of course I'm going to go where the facts lead us in that review.
I know you said that you have kind of like a draft of the contract with the third party
Yes.
person, but could you give us like kind of a timeline? Like, have they started their investigation yet?
So they have asked for a couple documents, but we of course want to ensure that we have this contract executed and that everything is being done properly. So, and I'm happy to provide the draft as well.
Do you have any estimate yet on the cost or how long it'll take?
The drafted contract does have a not to exceed $49,900. So that is the scope. That is going to be the overall cost of the contract. So it'll be that or less.
Do you know where that money will come from?
Yes, it comes from my real estate fund, or the county's real estate fund.
Do you have any idea what the timeline looks like for this third party to complete this investigation?
So I anticipate it will take at least a few months, just because we want to make sure that it's thorough. But of course, the goal is to get it done as quickly as possible so it can be useful. I don't want to compromise the quality of the audit by putting a strict deadline, and therefore not being able to get all of the information and everything reviewed properly. Okay, thank you.